Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. My name is Anthony. I'm an addict and an alcoholic, another bozo on the bus, and I care about you.
And I'm LouiLou. My pronouns are he and him, and I am in recovery for crystal meth alcohol, and I am always in search of balance. And each week we will strive to
You got it in there.
participate in conversation around topics of recovery. But we really want to create a brave space to do that.
And our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for more people in recovery by tackling issues sometimes used to separate us.
But before we do that, please like, share, comment, rate, and ding that bell.
Ding, 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 ding. Doo, 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 doo. And now the disclaimer. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on at the CCC are as alone. We do not represent anyone but ourselves, and material information shared here is for general information purposes only. In other words, we're just a couple of friends behind a mic here to entertain you.
Absolutely.
I think that was pretty good.
What was, except I don't know why.
Even that part.
I always stumbled through that. It's like, I guess I'm just going to have to just do what I got to do.
It just gives it character.
It just gives it character. Oh, well, so how's everyone doing? But before we do that, should we introduce our illustrious guest?
Well, we should definitely welcome back the lovely Bonnie Violet. Because
Bonnie Violet, yes.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. It's good to be here again.
It's good to see you.
Hi, Bonnie.
do we have to pay you for information?
No, did you want? I thought I was just supposed to say hello.
I know we're going to do the hello. We had this whole thing. But we have this illustrious guest with us
Absolutely.
today. The reigning Miss Castro Country Club,
Hey.
Miss Tongo Lele.
Hi, everyone.
That's when the applause comes in.
That's when the applause comes in. Steven, can you hit that button for us? There we go.
There you go. Oh my God. Now I feel like back at home.
Yeah. You're like, oh, that feels so familiar.
I love that. It's just about a couple days
Accolades,
ago.
please.
Thank you. So how is everyone doing?
Well, I personally am doing really good. I cannot complain. It's been a beautiful day today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
If you can, just bring it a little closer to the mic.
Remember, eat the mic.
Okay, I forgot.
Okay, so I had this master plan that I was going to spew some
Hatred.
recovery facts. No, because I was at the beginning of the month, I was all angry and indignant and whatever, and it realized that I'm angry about the fact that the facts that I was looking for are quite limited. So I'm just going to say that I'm doing good today. I've got some acceptance around my limited ability to kind of anger other people.
Yes. Wow. Thank you, Louis, on that to get us started on that positive note.
The wink finally.
If you want to be uplifted, you don't go to Louis.
Well, it's like my coworker the other day. I'm sitting there chilling. I'm enjoying my day. And he looks over and says, "Yeah, it's gonna rain and storm this weekend." I'm like, you know what? You don't know how to do small talk. So let's not do this. Okay, I don't want
to do small talk.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person who goes to like a party. I can't do small talk. I go straight to people's trauma. Like, when was the last time you cried? I'm sorry. What's your name?
What's your name again? We never say it.
I'm simply trying to get past you.
Yeah. I'm just trying to use the bathroom.
Oh God.
Yeah. But so I'm doing great.
Are you really?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm doing quite wonderful.
Sorry, I forgot to ask because he always feels slighted. Like,
who warms the sun? That's my question. Who warms the sun? I love how you guys both. I love Bonnie Violet. I don't know if you noticed this, but they both looked at you.
You got that?
They're like, "Did you get that, Bonnie Violet?"
Do we have an encyclopedia for that?
Encyclopedia. Because the sun, it warms all the planets. So who warms the sun? Like, what warms the sun? Well, the sun is warming all the planets.
Like equally confused.
Yeah.
Do you get that, Bonnie?
I know. I've learned sometimes you just sip your drink. And,
Just sip your tea.
I agree.
and call
Yeah.
it.
Oh my God! Look what popped up.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
It's a picture
Oh.
of.
You can't see it, Bonnie, but it's a picture of during
It's Anthony, Benji, and Louis.
Oh,
So I'm doing great. I matched, so I'll be starting my residing internship internship in August. So August 26th. I'm really excited about that. It was a long time. It was such a long stretch, but finally made it. And so I've just been trying to ride that. But can I be honest? I am so tired. Yeah, well, you know what, Lewis? You could have just given me that one, but you couldn't. Couldn't you? You just any joy in the room. Ooh, it just snapped it right out of the room.
Sorry.
Look at this one here.
What did Angel say? Angel say, "Hey, so what are we talking about?"
Watching or producing?
That's a good question.
You know what? That is a nice segue. But I did want to say one thing here. Other than Angel's rude, is that that it's been really hard to enjoy this most recent success because it's been like I've been working at it for such a long time that I'm like exhausted, like excited, but also like just really exhausted, which I imagine is what it's like to run a marathon. I don't know. I've never run one.
Okay.
How do you know that you're running one?
What? So someone said, who's this person? Right. What's the topic? I'll say, okay. I love how all of a sudden we have all of these producers. Don't act like you don't know the beginning of the show.
I know. Bonnie Violet, how are you doing? Because we want to make sure that we include you before we
It's so good.
over there.
I know. I feel like we're getting Bonnie, and please be quick. Because
I've just gotten more and more quiet. It feels so far away from you all. But I'm doing well. I've just been focusing on, I'm doing my debut drag performance here at the gay bar.
Wow. Get into it.
So I'm actually like, how I do. I'm like making all my whole outfit and practicing my lines. And then I'm doing a wedding in Vegas next week. So I've been working on that as well. So
officiating or performing at the officiating?
I'm officiating the wedding.
Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
That's so cool.
It is.
Nice. Yeah.
Wonderful.
What's the topic?
Let's pivot to today's topic.
Since people
want to know what the fucking topic is. Like you don't know what the topic is. But so today's topic is drag in recovery, but reclaiming your drag in recovery, right? Which is the way we're interpreting this is that all the queens that we have had on and we'll have on because we still have one more week, are queens who have gotten sober at some point. And so really what we're looking at is like, what were their lives like before? How has their art changed as a result of recovery? And of course, we're just happy to follow the conversation wherever it goes.
And I wanted to add, like, one of the things we were thinking about, and I thought about you particularly, because coming here and then all of a sudden reclaiming or diving back in, because to have like this drag relationship with drag and then have it put on the shelf so you can figure out where your life is.
Yes.
But then to be able to get it back, that's pretty cool.
That part.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's interesting, but more than anything, it's very joyful. I really enjoy it.
Very joyful.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This is a really nice place for us to ask you the three questions that we ask all of our guests. Are you ready for them? So you get three questions. Yeah, 3 questions that we ask all of our guests. First question is, where are you from?
So I live in San Francisco right now, but I'm originally from Carolina, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
From Carolina, Puerto Rico. Yes, and I have been living in San Francisco since 2017. If I do my math wrong, it should be 7 years. And I said wrong because I'm not sure if that's a number.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you live anywhere before you moved to California, San Francisco?
Oh, baby. Well, if we go backwards, so right now, San Francisco, before San Francisco was Miami. And from Miami, before that was San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Nice, Very cool. Nice. Very cool. Okay.
So what brought you to recovery? What inspired you to seek out recovery?
I was messy as hell.
Yeah.
I was super messy. I was like completely like not being myself. And one time I just realized that I needed to like make a change in my life. And I got a moment of clarity and realized that I do. If I want to continue living, want to continue being alive and enjoy the beautiful things that we have in life, I need to make a change, and sobriety comes up.
Nice.
Excellent. That's a nice, succinct answer. Unlike previous guest,
She's still answering the question. Sending us emails.
for people, she said she's still emailing us an answer. For folks, Angel, who's the queen that we had on last week, she's also in the room right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I was looking over for those who couldn't get the physical comedy of it all.
And also, for those who don't know, Tongo's partner.
And Tongo's partner.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct. So maybe that's a nice segue to our next question, which is tell us about your relationship with your HP.
Well,
Angels do.
no.
I pray to Angel.
HP. So my
HPV.
yeah.
My HPV.
But if I tell you what actually HP mean in Spanish, it's a very bad word. But for us, for me in particular, like I have a beautiful relationship with my higher power, and my higher power is just like it's everywhere, but more than anything is the community that I serve around. Is because I'm truthful and my recovery is very based in like the service that I provide or the service that I do for the community, or the most that I can do, of course. And I think so that keeping myself in service, it just allowed me to be in connect and be high there.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Thank you. You're not running for a pageant right now.
I know.
I'm like, these answers are so clean and they're so crisp. You're like, thank you, judges.
There's nothing wrong with being
No, there's nothing.
There's nothing wrong with being ready.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not being
I'm just-
ready. I'm just telling that's the way I am.
No,
I'm just
it's
clean and
okay. I'm just
perfect.
fucking with you.
So Tonga's representing the country club for the full year, so
I'm still
She
have a
needs
crown
to be
to
clean.
maintain.
she is in full
She,
kind of like
you know what?
pageant,
Forgive me.
I am like here, like my crown.
Forgive me. Forgive me. So let's jump right in. So tell us a little bit about the origin of your name.
Oh, it's short version. So if we go by my full name, my full drag name is Yanira Tongo Lele. Most of the people just know me by Tongo Lele, but the full name is Yanira Tongo Lele. Yanira is actually the name of the wife of my best friend. Her name is Yanira, and my best friend is called Taira. I know them since I was in 6th grade. So we know each other for many years, right? And she's a creative, beautiful woman who just I just admire a lot. And she inspired me in many ways and how to be the most out there. And then Tongolele was actually the first time that I did drag. I have this wig on and I have this beautiful white I don't know how to say that, but it's like white hair in the front.
Cana?
Cana, yeah. En español es una cana. But I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know how to
but
say it in
oh
English.
yeah. Oh, white hair.
A white hair, but it's only in this part of the wig, so it was beautiful. Right?
Oh, like the bangs or something.
I don't know.
It's a highlight or it's a
It's a
strip.
it was,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just only a piece of white hair. Anyway, it comes out, and there is a bidet dancer from Mexico and very famous in Latin America. And actually, I would go out for performing for the first time, and the person, my original drag mother, she was like, "You just look just like Tongolele." I'm like, "I don't have a name," and she's like, "Be Tongolele." And honestly, since there, become Tongolele. And I think it's an homage to those bidet dancers and those kind of like that Caribbean vibe that is coming
Mhm.
around that.
Are you saying ballet dancers?
Bidet.
What is that? Bidet?
I don't know in English.
Oh, bidet dancers?
like
That's
the
so
one-
cool. Bidet.
I bidet dancer. I don't know. I have to look for that.
The name, the way it rolls off your tongue, it just sounds so beautiful. Like, and I feel like it's totally butchered when the rest of us say Tongolele.
Yeah, I know. When you say it, it sounds really elegant.
Yes,
That was like,
exactly.
I did actually notice that. I was like, oh, I don't say it like that.
No, exactly.
Yeah, it's,
I'm like Tongo Lele.
But I have a question because before you go, I was like, so do you
Before
feel
you
like
go.
any no before you go, see you later. Do you feel like any aspect of Tongolele is there any Yanira in there?
aspect of Janera
Uh-huh.
in it. Yes, everything that is like the creative part of the character is basically Janera. Janera is like an extremely creative and very love to like create outside of or think outside of the box. So Yanira is basically that part of like me trying to take me, like myself, Raphael, outside completely of what I would normally do.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think Yanira is getting into Raphael and helping to be
Well,
more adventurous.
it's kind of a symbiotic relationship. They support one another. It's like
100%.
I think a lot of queens, like what tends to happen is like if you're not careful, you lose yourself in that.
100%.
And I've had friends who like they're, oh my God, this character gets all the attention. I don't get the attention. I'm all snap out of it.
Yeah.
You are that
Yeah.
person. You
Yes,
you
yes.
feed life into that person.
That's
you have
correct.
to figure out. I think you just have to figure out how to kind of clearly delineate between the two, you know. But
Yeah. I totally agree with that, and it's because like I have been saying that thing for many years to friends of mine who get lost in the character, and I have seen it. Like I truly see it, and I always say like your character would not exist if your main persona is not live and vibrant, because at the end when you go home and you remove all of that character out of you, you end up being naked by yourself. So you have to make sure that you take care of yourself.
Naked and by yourself. It's so sad.
that's like
Well,
that's the
depending-
title of your
Well,
book.
it
huh?
sounds like
Naked and by
that, unless you
yourself.
have somebody can help you to get naked.
Oh, this is like
To be
CCC
honest.
After Dark. That's what I know.
Read at the CCC.
So I'm curious about what was your drag life like before recovery? Like what was Tongo Lele like then?
Tongo Lele, so what happened? Tongo, get closer. Okay, I'm getting closer to it. So Tongo Lele was basically part of a family that I belong back in Puerto Rico. And we have the opportunity to perform a couple times, right? But Tongo Lele was very messy out there. She will be walking outside after a performance just with her heels and her hand and throwing things around. She was very messy. She was not creative at all. She would be like, oh, this is the song, this is what it is, you know. Now, and back in Puerto Rico, we have a big culture of like pageantry. So like it's a little hard to get into it, but it was very more about my sister than myself and things like that. But more than anything, she was very messy. She was not polished. She was not completely out there, even though I was doing drag, but it was not a thing that I will enjoy and passionate. I just did it because it was part of what we all were doing. But that was basically Tongo Lele. And there was a moment that I was like, you know something, I need to stop doing her because it was not giving me the vibes.
No, Bonnie Violet.
Yes.
I was thinking the same thing too. You were talking about now you're going to be making your drag debut. In some ways, because of the experiences you've gone through, you're reclaiming your drag as well. Because don't you feel like you may have had to put her on the shelf for a moment so that you could figure out who you are and where you are and how you guys can work together?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was more of an experience of my transness and drag, like really starting to pull those apart. And so, you know, now I think, you know, I'm living more into my feminine trans identity all the time. And so I'm not feeling like I need to look more like a woman. You know, when I do drag, I can play with it a little bit more, which I kind of did a little bit, but it just feels a little bit more playful. And, you know, I'm trying to make it playful, than more so than like, I guess before. So I don't know. I feel like it's hard to separate a lot of my change in drag has been so related to my gender identity that I think it's been more of trying to find, you know, the line of what is each, so to speak.
Beautiful.
That's really beautiful. I'm wondering if Rafa, does something like that exist for you when you think about how Tongo Lele has changed from what she was like when you were messy to what you are like now? Like, do you feel like, what is that thing about her that has maintained the same, and what is the thing that has changed?
So I think that something that I have been maintaining the same is that upfront that she is. And what I mean with that is like how she just go up there and try to do her best. The only thing is like, because of my using, it just completely get out of hands, and I did not have the control of it.
Mm.
So with that said, it's like she always was there. It just I never give her the opportunity to actually develop herself because I was very into like getting and like drinking and all the moment. And let's be honest, and the drag culture, you have a lot of like using and alcohol out there. So it's so easy. Like back in Puerto Rico, I will be there and the drinks were all 100% free.
Oh yeah.
And all the things were like before we go out to the stage, we have to do something so we can be like
Relaxed.
more relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm like, now that I'm here, I'm like, I am relaxed. I don't need any of those things in order to be relaxed and enjoy the show and be blacked out. And then I do not remember what was going on. So yeah.
The hill that I'll completely die on. I've said it each time. I feel like and add to or whatever, like hosting the show
Mhm.
and doing more than just the performing, but actually like hosting the show. I feel like that helped to kind of like Bonnie said, pull Lewis and Minnie apart because Minnie definitely. I mean, I'd like to think that I'm a lot nicer than Minnie. But no, but I think that it really makes a difference to like because if you're just going and performing and you're not because sometimes you could just get in drag 5 minutes you're out of there or whatever, there's no personality, nothing expected, and hosting like I always I have so much fun with you hosting and you learning new words as you go.
Oh my god.
I this might be a little bit of an assumption, but you have like a talent of song and dance, and so I'm assuming there might have been some crossover into drag. Like that might have been something you did before drag. Maybe that's not true. What kind of caused you to cross over, if that was even the case?
Well, since I was a kid, my mom and my dad was like making sure that I always was creative because I was creative since I was a kid. And I was creating by singing and dancing and theater. So I'm formally trained, right?
Yeah.
Formally.
Formally trained.
I'm so proud of you.
In
Keep that up.
thank you. I did not pay for it. That was my dad and my mom. So thank them. I was formally trained in dance and music and theater in particular. So there was a point that I was like, what I'm gonna do with this, and literally I did not know what to do with it. I was not going to sing anywhere, or was not going to dance or perform or being an actor. But then drag show up, and that's the best way that I have gone. And actually, to just resume, like one of the things that I did when I was taking classes for theater, it was makeup. My concentration was makeup, and I did 23 years working for beauty. So it's kind of like have been basically part of my life, completely being creative.
Nice.
That's really cool. I'm wondering if you can talk about the moment of clarity that you had when you were talking about, like when you decided to get sober.
When I decided to get sober, so it was very interesting. I was using like can I say my true
Yeah, you can use
preferences?
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was using alcohol and I was doing meth for that time, and it was very intense. I was using meth and cocaine a couple ones. Yeah. Whatever presented in front of me, I would say yes.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting. One of the nights I was just walking around through the streets, and it was not me at all. It was just
Were you in drag?
no, I was not. I was not. It would have been a little bit more easy though. And so I was just walking in San Francisco, just walking around trying to find things, and then realizing that there was a moment that I was just literally sit down in front of the end station in the Bolton Church, and I was coming out from the building that I was using, right? And I remember being with this person, and we would like keep looking, and I was like, the true question that come to my head was, when it's gonna be enough? Like that moment that you're like, I cannot stop. Like I want more and I want more. And we have been in this like for about 24 hours since that happened. Like we were hiding in this place with no curtain, so I did not see the sun come in and come out. So it was like crazy, right? And then I'm here thinking like, but Rafael want to continue doing like his work and all the things that he need to do. And I just literally thought like I need some help. I need some help. And that was the moment that I just like the next day, because we don't have nothing else. So I literally had to stop, and I did have no money to purchase. So I was like, I need to stop. And then the next day, I just, before that thought going away, I literally went to my phone and kind of like find a place that I could have a meeting. And I literally arrived to Progress Not Perfection meeting at the Castro Country Club at 7:30 on Tuesday, promotion. And then, but I was literally there, sit down and listen what it is. And it was a moment that I was like, yeah, I really need to stop and then like make sure, because I really don't have power over this.
Yeah, I love that idea of like, when is enough enough? You know, that I think that makes a lot of sense. That's certainly something like I can relate to. I'm wondering I'm wondering a lot tonight apparently, but I'm thinking about like, so for some people, you know, their character can help them kind of do certain things, right? I'm wondering if when you started to get sober, if there was any, like, did drag play any role in you getting sober? Like, did Tongo Lele have a role in you getting sober?
So for me being in like not sober, it was basically being in drag all the time.
Oh,
So I was like, I was always looking forward to just like get something on my body to be like a masquerade of who actually I am.
interesting.
And I was like, okay, so if I get a drink, I'm gonna be more spicy. I'm gonna be up. Like I will be going to meetings for my past work and being like a little bit tipsy. It was the only way that I will be able to like kind of like share my thoughts and things like that. So it was kind of like that. So now now if I go to like what it is right now, like I'm able to kind of like divide both of them. Like Rafael, I'm very like, I think to myself that I'm very introverted.
Oh, you are very different from Tongo Lele.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. Those are like two different people.
Personalities. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Those are two
there's
different people.
Rafa has this smoothness or whatever. It's like I remember I would come up to him, I'm like, oh, he said my name. Yeah, I know. It's like so like smooth, like velvety or whatever. Not to
And
say
calm.
Tonga Lele,
Mhm.
but Tonga Lele is like alive and like
Yes.
a spark.
Yeah, she's very loud. Sometimes I'm like, bitch, you need to chill.
You gonna
Yeah, but then I'm like, I'm very soft, relaxed, and try to keep my posture very straight. But for many reasons, but Tongolet is the opposite. It's my way for me, my ticket to be like more loose, more relaxed, more able to say things that Rafael would not.
Oh wow! So when you were drinking and using, you used Tongo Lele to drink and use.
That's correct.
Interesting. So then how does she feel about being so? I don't mean to talk about you like you're not here, but you know, if that's what she was used for such a long time, what it reminds me of is people who talk about how so much of their meth use was tied in with sex, and how when they started to have sex as sober people, that was difficult. So I'm wondering, was it difficult for you to step into Tongo Lele as a person in recovery, like a sober person?
Yes. I get into drag in February of last year.
Is it an Angel's fault?
I was gonna say that right now. This is Angel's fault though. So what happened was like he was doing makeup, he was doing all the kind of stuff, and I had opinions. I had things to say, and he was like, bitch, if you have an opinion and you think that you can do this better, fucking put a wig and do yourself. And I was like, literally, I shut up. I was like, no opinions
jaw
anymore.
Dropped.
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay. So anyway, I was like, you know something? I'm gonna show you that I can do it. And I remember that it was February. Okay, it was February. And I was like, okay, let me just do something so I can show. And then I start doing my makeup. No, that day you did my makeup for the first one here, and he did my makeup, and I was like, let me show her. And honestly, it just gave me a beautiful taste, but I was scared because the only thoughts and the only memories that I have from my drug was not being sober. And when I stepped into the stage being sober, it just gave me a blacked out that it was more healthy than the blacked out that I used to have.
Interesting. I'm wondering when you say blackout, do you mean like describe that to me? What do you mean when you say blackout?
Well, it's for me a blacked out. It means like when Raphael literally like just go out, and then Tongolele just kind of like I manifest Tongolele. I always say that she's like just a spirit out there. So like Tongolele comes in, and that way that she perform or act and stage, it's just her, because it's,
Yeah, you just-
it's a completely different person.
Yeah, you just lose yourself
Yeah.
in the performance or whatever. Like it happens a lot. That's why it's so important sometimes to have somebody videotape it
Yes.
so that you can go back and say, "Oh, I did that."
Did I just move like that? My
And
doctor
it's
is not going
so
to say
healing.
that.
It's so healing, like what you were saying. I mean, to be able to take back that,
Mhm.
and it's almost like you're performing sober is your amends to Tongo.
100%.
Yes.
You know, what's interesting is that when Bonnie Violet was talking and also you just now, there's this way that a person can find themselves in their drag, and they can also lose themselves in their drag, and that the drag becomes this kind of vehicle. I'm wondering, Bonnie Violet and you, do you have like any thoughts about like drag as a vehicle? Like drag as something that
To run over people.
yeah.
Wow.
How about you, Bonnie Violet? What are you thinking?
It's what we do drag to drive the bus, right? That all
Yeah.
all the bozos are on.
With all the bozos.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, I mean, to me, that's a little bit of what I mean, for me, it helped me be more connected with people. It helped me work through, I don't know, it just put me in places, and even just with friendships that I might not have had outside of drag, I guess. And so, you know, and, you know, I've said it a number of times, my I came to, you know, discover my transness because of drag. So it was a, you know, a channel, a cart, a chariot to Bonnie Violet even.
I hear that. How about you, Rafa?
So for me, like the vehicle, how do you say that? Whatever.
Mhm.
The way that I see this car where Tongolele is driving it's very interesting, because getting out of the car, you open doors, right? And I think so, has she said, it's like definitely I know people now that I am 100% sure Raphael would not even say hi to them.
Oh, interesting. That's
Like,
really nice.
I would not ever, like, there's people like I will be like, okay, you're too cute to say hi.
Mhm.
You're like out there, or you're like, you look very brilliant or intelligent, or you like, I'm never gonna reach out to that, right? Things like that, just an example. So Tongolele give you that opportunity, and when you're out of drag, it's kind of like Tongolele just introduce me to them.
Oh wow.
At least that's
Mhm.
how I see it. Like Tongolele just give the first step, and then it's the turn of Raphael to just say.
That is really, really cool. Like drag as an armor, but also as like a mediator, but also there's just all these different functions that drag is, you know, like I've said before.
Drag is an opening.
Yeah.
I think just like I said, it's an opening, because like there are folks that, as much as I might have been afraid to approach people, there are other people who didn't know. Maybe there was no opening. There was no opening. Like maybe we didn't think we had anything in common, and they come to the show, and there were so many people that they would see me perform, and all of a sudden, I've made some pretty lasting friendships as a result. You know, folks would just come they would come initially to support, but then we move beyond that.
Yeah, drag as a portal. Go ahead, Bonnie Violet.
Curious to know like how it's been for you to manage your recovery, you know, doing drag as well as being in a pageant. I mean, dating Linda, I mean, that's, you know, that's a whole other thing.
That's
but like,
a whole other thing.
That's a whole
Linda,
other thing.
my goodness.
Dating
How do you-
Linda, that's a whole other thing.
Dating Linda.
I guess, how have you been doing it? How's it felt, you know, not with Linda, but just in general, in like balancing everything?
What about
Oh,
all the
no.
stigma from Kai
No,
Kai?
if I tell you, baby, I'm telling. If I tell you like how I have been dealing with Linda, that would be like an hour, 3 hours podcast only. Anyway, but for me, how I've been dealing with sobriety, it's been very interesting. I believe that I did have, and I do have a great sponsor who actually like helped me guide myself through like how to keep myself sober. and something that he helped me very, very deeply hold to my hand into it. It was like how to divide both things. Like this is Rafael in your life, and this is Tongo Lele with your life, right? And how to deal with that. I think that was something that I'm very thankful for my sponsor, or my ex-sponsor at this point, because I just got a new one.
Nice.
But with that said, it's like it just gave me the opportunity to kind of like see things separated. And something else that he helped me a lot, it was like to make like really good divisions when it had to do with Linda, or we had to do with Angel in particular. So helped me to see and kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but just to make sure that it was completely divided, that it was not a whole mix. Because it's if you have a whole mix with Linda, Tongolele, and Rafael and Angel, it's 4 people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, and 2
That's
of them
way
are
too many
hella
people in
crazy.
that relationship.
That's so.
Yeah.
What is that, polyamorous?
That is a polyamorous.
And all 4 of them have big personalities.
Oh yeah.
I always say, Angel, if we ever
They're tiny
move
little
together,
people, but they got big personalities.
Yeah.
I always say, Angel, if we ever move together, remember you had to look for a house for 4 people, not for 2. He need a room for his stuff, full room for him,
for full room for all his drag stuff. In the last 10 minutes here, you mentioned briefly, you talked briefly about drag culture. So I'm wondering, what has that been like for you here? Like, has drag culture as a sober person been different here than, say, Miami or Puerto Rico?
Oh, 100%. In Miami, I did drag. I did drag Puerto Rico and here. I wanted so badly to do in Miami, but the culture of drag in the 3 different places, and the 3 different places are completely different.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like literally like the same amount of miles away that they are.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yes, it's very, very,
same more.
Well, for every different
yes,
energy or person or whatever, you bring that in. So it's like, I mean, I feel like our drag community here is going to be different than if there was a specific drag community in the TL or in any other area, because of the players or the actors.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like if we go to Puerto Rico, like this is my personal experience. I don't know. This is my personal experience. I don't know if it's actually how it's happening right now. But when I was back in Puerto Rico, the house that I belong, which is like House of La Cajera.
Say it again.
La Cajera.
The House
La
of La
Cajera.
Cajera. So what happened with that is like, I never saw a bearded queen.
Oh
Never.
yeah.
It was all about, that woman impersonator. Like,
You
how
look
beautiful, your shape of your body. Like,
you served it Saturday. Like I have issue. Like I'm kind of judgmental about the whole bearded thing or whatever. But you gave gender fuck completely. Yes, and it was beautiful, because I think that I've always said, like, if you're going to do that, you need to do it. None of this habit, because I just say, like, seriously, like, you dunked your head in some makeup and said, no, that's not acceptable. So it was lovely.
Thank you. Like, and if I go from Puerto Rico to Miami is the same way. It's very passionate. Fashion. No, contest.
Oh, pageant,
that thing. So pageant driven. So it means like you have to be very set up. Your gown has to be like Swarovski crystals, and very sculpture hair. Like, how do you look for the pictures? It's very different compared to here. Here I'm able to express my drag in many other like ways, like with beer, without not beer, playing with genders, like things like that. Like,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that Miami was like that. I've never been to Miami, but
you're missing out.
Yeah. Well, I probably have no business in Miami.
No, I'm pretty sure of that, but we can actually like take you one day so you can just see and then come back.
Okay. No tea, no shade at Miami. I just feel like
I get you.
Yeah, okay, good. So
I lived there for 2 years. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it.
All right, let's keep it moving. So it's 5.
She was like,
okay. I know, that was a lovely way to say, shut your mouth.
Literally, I should take that.
I think one of the things that's cool about San Francisco too is that even like the drag community that's in the bars and stuff is still pretty saturated with sobriety and sober people. And it's a very supportive space. I'm in Boise, and it's actually a lot more diverse than you would think, especially when you look at our drag. I mean, we have a specifically trans and non-binary like only like team. We have a drag king troupe, you know, and like, so there's a lot of diversity, but I would say sobriety is not something that's like super represented. I think like my roommate and myself are in sobriety, that are kind of in the mix of who's doing the shows right now. So I think, you know, that is, you know, something that's going to also change from city to city, or, you know, community to community.
You're going to be a part of that transformation. I love that. Maybe this is a whole nother show too. Like, for whatever people might say about RuPaul and Drag Race or Dragula or any of those things that are out there in the mainstream, it really is kind of inviting individuals who never thought that they would have an opportunity to be a part. And so I feel like some of the freedom that we get to experience here in San Francisco, it may be spilling over into other areas. I mean, people are starting to see the drag is so much more than just what you thought it was.
And to be just very quick, I just have my best friends from Miami, Brian, just visiting and be for the first time seeing me in a show in last Saturday Mascara, and he come in and he saw a drag queen, and like he saw so many type of performers, and then from here we went to Oasis.
Say
Say
that again. It sounds
Oasis. You're great.
It sound good.
Oasis.
They're gonna change the name.
Oasis. Anyway, we went over there, and he saw the type of performance that we do in Mascara and the type of performance that they do in Oasis as well. And then he's like, I had never seen the type of productions that we do in San Francisco in Miami. It's like a completely different scenario, a different scene, and he just fall in love. Then when he go back to Miami on Monday, at the middle of the day, like I think 12, he was already having friends, and they're like talking when they will come back.
How fun!
Because he loved the drag scene.
Oh, love it.
That's very cool. So, in wrapping up, can you tell us a little bit about the future of Tongo Lele or Rafa?
She's done after this.
I'm done.
Do you have any ideas of where you want to be headed, or that you are headed?
Yeah, she's heading from the bedroom. She's going from the closet of the bedroom. She's going to the garage sale. No, just kidding. kidding.
Yeah, but that's interesting.
No,
Go ahead.
So she is like, so I am sober because I'm doing drag, and I'm sober because of the service that I do. Because for me, what I'm doing is something that is healing me as well. So I believe I cannot give you a full plan, but I know it's just right there in the corner. I believe I will be like just continue helping, working, trying to ensure that we have like raising funds for any organization that is still helping to the sober community, and I think that's going to be continuing like the work that I will be doing. So I think Tongolale, if she continue after June, that I give my crown or step down, I believe it's going to be continuing in all the
and fundraising, philanthropy, that kind of thing.
You get to point, like, we're title holders. I get to perform when I want to. I don't have to perform.
That part. I can say no now.
Yes. Oh God, that is the best. Yeah. No, I'm good. It's like,
Should we start landing the plane?
The Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ barbecue recovery community. We're a barbecue community.
We provide programs and services that help people change their lives by supporting personal growth.
Yes, and our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community, opportunity, and support.
You can find more information, including all the ways to contact us, at www.castrocountryclub.org/podcast.
Yes, and tune in every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when we go live on our Castro Country Club Facebook and YouTube channels.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.